Now to the drivers playing Russian roulette on our roads. Incredible footage caught by our cameras has police gobsmacked as families hit the highways for holidays.
Just the slightest distraction could mean that you could kill someone and end up in jail.
No, you're not seeing things. This woman really has no hands on the wheel. A cigarette in one and lighter in the other, she waves, then begins to boogie. It would be comical if it wasn't so dangerous.
How you can possibly think that you can steer a vehicle without your hands on the wheel is beyond me.
Assistant Commissioner Libby Murphy heads up the Road Policing Command at Victoria Police.
Flabbergasting, unbelievable.
She's appalled by the vision we show her.
And I think the registration number's there, so we might follow that up, Sam.
This woman isn't the only one playing Russian roulette. Our cameras catch driver after driver barrelling down major highways while glued to their screens.
He looks down for a number of seconds at any given time, so with that he could easily kill any person who was in front. People think a text message is much more important. People think scrolling the internet is much more important than actually worrying about the harm that they can cause on our roads.
From fast-moving traffic to shopping strips swarming with pedestrians, it's clear we have a serious addiction to our phones.
Can we ask why you're on the phone? Why are you on the phone? Hello?
And here's another person just texting at the lights, driving with their knees.
And the cars have already gone and she's still there waiting.
Just waiting. I actually saw a fellow the other day on a major freeway in Melbourne, and he was towing a boat on his phone coming up, obviously thinking he was in slower traffic. But if you suddenly have to put those brakes on, that boat goes through the back, windscreen, the trauma that it could cause.
And how about this young truckie more hell-bent on performing for the camera than looking where he's going? Or this woman whose right foot is nowhere even near the pedals?
If something happened where she'd have to take evasive action, I cannot believe that she's doing it. Absolutely crazy, 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 crazy.
So crazy, several states have turned to cameras catching mobile-obsessed motorists in the act. And in Victoria, a recent trial's nabbed 1 in 50. In New South Wales, this driver's apparently never heard of speakerphone, while this truckie's not only on his mobile, we can't see a seatbelt, and as for the rest of the photo, well, there are no words. Over in Queensland, perhaps it's breakfast time with a side of Instagram, and he's not the only one who's a little peckish.
Driving is a skill and it's an art. It's not something where you're sitting in a lounge chair.
A third of Victorian drivers surveyed in 2019 admitted to illegally using their phone in the car. The worst offenders, 18 to 25-year-olds, almost half confessed to touching their devices. It's a statistic that sends shivers down the spine of Vicky Richardson.
This isn't a dream, it's real, and you have to live it every day.
Vicky's dedicated her life to saving other young drivers from the same fate as daughter Brooke. Despite Vicky's pleas for her to get off the phone, it was a text message that robbed the 20-year-old hairdresser of a future.
Brooke was travelling to work and she decided to text a client. She took her eyes off the road and she crossed onto the wrong side of the road and hit a tree head-on doing 100 kilometres an hour.
Brooke's tragic story has since helped change laws as part of the Don't Text and Drive Foundation.
We've had 8 Christmases without her, and as people are growing and friends are growing, she's missing out on having a family of her own.
My major collision investigation unit detectives tell me that people think that they've just done one small bad thing, but they've killed someone, and then the anguish that they live with for the rest of their lives.
As a member of the community yourself, what do you think when you see these people on the road on their phones?
I'm a bit flabbergasted actually, because it's a real challenge for me. How do I get the message through to people?
Perhaps this will.
Put your phones away, because my life has been changed irrevocably, can't even freaking speak, because someone made a stupid mistake.
You could say Claire Cooper is one of the lucky ones.
I was a classical pianist for probably 3 decades, and all that came to a crashing end when some idiot ran over me.
While cycling to a recital, a driver distracted on their phone ran a red light and hit her. Claire's been left with a permanent brain injury, having to learn to walk and talk again.
The people that I've talked to that came to see me at the time didn't imagine that I would make it because I was in a coma.
Claire's story is part of a new campaign by Victoria's Transport Accident Commission.
But I think the thing is that people think it can't happen to me. Well, let me tell you, it does happen.
For me, it is as bad as drug or drink driving, and people need to see it as that.
In fact, a number of studies have likened using your phone while driving to having a blood alcohol reading of 0.08.
One way to avoid the temptation is to use an app or feature built into most smartphones that'll let you block incoming calls and notifications as soon as you jump in the car.
The thing that I probably implore people to do is actually think, well, if that was your family member, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your child who had been killed by someone on a phone, wouldn't you be an angry person? I absolutely would.
And if that doesn't convince you, it is worth reminding you that there are steep penalties for using a mobile phone while driving, up to $1,000 in Queensland and WA and between $300 and $500 in other states and territories, plus demerit points.